I am the CEO of a company called Oak Rocket, as you saw. Started the company 10 years ago. Really was working at Symantec, Veritas, and Microsystems. Didn't know what Java was. Came from the finance side of the house and ended up being really mentored by Scott McNeely, John W. Thompson, who became the chairman of the board, who brought in Satya. But corporate world just was not good for me. It wasn't where I could move fast enough. And as a single mother of 4, I decided to take things in my own hands 10 years ago and start my own company, which I didn't think I was going to do because I never thought of that as a dream of mine. And I started Oak Rocket with $40,000, focus on cloud computing, storage, generative AI these days, and became one of the fastest women-owned companies in the last 4 years by Chase Bank, CRN, Inc. 5000. Thank you. And will AI replace sales is what Lakshmi and team have asked me to come talk to you about. I was actually with the team in Bangalore, and we didn't focus on that. We focused more about how do you take tragedies and challenges and move forward as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as an executive. But bad data questions get bad answers out. And it's the wrong question to ask. Having been in sales for over 25 years, the question is not really about, will we replace salespeople? The question is, how do you help salespeople build faster relationships? At least on the entrepreneurial B2B, maybe not business consumer on Amazon.com, but as it relates to selling to organizations like UCSD, which was my first 7 years of my life. So I know the research institution world very well. It's really about how do I get to know and build relationships faster and help my sales team and my inside sales. And you all might say, how does this relate to me? But you are all salespeople. Whether you're a research institute looking for money from NSF or looking anywhere else from HIMSS or other places, you are all salespeople no matter what you say. And so how do you get to that end result using AI to help you get there? Whether it's from recruiting to selling, to really being able to run your business and scale and build those relationships quicker and faster. When I first moved here from London to San Francisco, within 18 months, I did 180% of my number at Veritas, knowing no one. And how do you do that? You do that by getting data. AI should be able to get you to screen up social media data, figure out where and who do you talk to. When I sold to University of Kansas, actually Kansas State University, I figured out the dean and the CIO was a widow. She was too busy to meet with me in the middle of the day, but she was never too busy to have dinner because no one asked her out at night. And she said, I'll never buy a piece of product from you at Oracle because I'm going to build it myself like a typical research institution. 8 months later, she bought $5 million from me. I'm the first one to buy it. So, what are people saying? Obviously, people are going to be replacing salespeople. That's not the case. It's really about whether or not you're going to be good enough to embrace AI, like will.i.am, who I'm an advisor for in the tech space, or you're going to be smart enough as one of the top people to take AI and make your job easier, get rid of the mundane stuff, and be one of the faster, better salespeople in this world. Just like a piece of camera thought we were going to get rid of art. It really was not the case. We became and created more technology and solutions like photography. But art still, and painting still existed. It's just the best artists got to stick around. And the lazy ones who didn't embrace the photography and the comparisons of it were never going to be there. So for some examples I use in my sales team, we use Fireflies, we take notes of our conversations. I'm not in every meeting, but I can get the idea of what a sales call is like by using free solution and AI technology to be able to hear about conversations and go back and train my team. We use CRM like HubSpot and hope to figure out what your 4 Fs are. Does anyone know who the 4 Fs are? It's my book. Next. People don't sell just because of a problem. People sell to people. They want to do business with someone who can make them happy. So the 4 Fs are 1, what do you like to do for fun? What do you really eat for food and drink? What do you actually have in terms of a family and friends? Because we all focus on people and who they are today, but what the biggest F you need to figure out is what do they want to do in the future? Right? You're the CIO, you're the CEO, oh my gosh, how can I sell to you? Versus asking me if I can figure out, looking at people's dreams in social media or asking around at your partner levels, what does that person really want to do? They want to race cars. They want to eventually sing on stage with will.i.am. Whatever that is, understanding that person's future and helping them get to that future or reminding them that they need to get to that future is more important. And then you get into the hearts and minds of people. And that's where you can use all these technologies in order to do that. Zapier is free. It can work on workflows. There's lots of technologies, but I only have 10 minutes to show you all and talk to you all about them. But they are things that we can use to help our life be more productive. And life is more than just sales and business and technology that we've all talked about today. I got a scholarship to Harvard recently when I was 42 because I was a youth governor of my state and I got pregnant at 19. I started college at 16, met my husband who was 4 years older, and had to get rid of that full scholarship to make a decision to have a 27-year-old who went here to UCSD in business school. But you look at Martin Luther King, and he, at the age of 23, started standing in the way for Rosa Parks in the bus boycott. And who knew that 13 years later, he'd be assassinated? And if you were his mother, you would have said, oh my gosh, he's gone to jail 20 times. And you stand for that son, and you don't know what he's going to be and the legendary person he was going to be later on. So are you really living a life powerfully in one you love and using technology to help you get there? When I was at Harvard, my Unit 2 class, my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, liver cancer. I lost her in 2020, about 9 months later. 8 months ago, I lost my father to the same liver cancer because we didn't test him, but we tested all the 7 other kids, 6 girls and 1 boy. And he was living with me. 76 days ago, I lost my daughter, my 16-year-old, to a tragic accident. And you just don't know how technology can help you solve any of these problems because the world still is still the world. And you still want to live a life powerfully and one you love and you think you're doing it. But how do you know when life is so short? And thanks to Lakshmi, she helped me put together a great story for when I came to India for the first time a couple of weeks ago and met all these fellows. But also, how do you live your life powerfully and one you love after things like this that you would never been planned to be able to do? I hoped she was going to come here as my 3rd out of 4th child. But unfortunately, that was not a case of the senior. But who best to tell you how to live a life powerfully and then one you love than my own daughter?
My mother has taught me to never let anyone tell me what I can and cannot do. She teaches me that there is no limit, that possibilities are endless despite any given circumstance. She's proved that even through hardships, you can make a difference. Nothing would mean anything if I wasn't living a life I loved.
That's what I am.
This is life, not heaven, and we're not meant to be perfect. We are meant to sing, we are meant to dance, get funky, as some may say. Nobody should waste their time being unhappy. Go make changes and stay true to yourself.
That was her gift to me on December 2022. I have a lot of solace for having her had that with all the things we deal with mental health, with issues that kids are dealing with today. Almost too much data goes through their brain and too much expectations, but still, I wanted her to understand, and I think she did, that she needed to live a life powerfully and one that she was, no matter how imperfect or perfect we all think we are. And how are you living a life differently and one you love? For me, this is keeping up her spirit, her life, and helping other children become great writers like her, social economically challenged children who need to be able to express themselves, who need to be able to have the gift that she had. I was able to put together a book of all of her writings and poems if you'd like to take a look at it later today. I did it in 4 days. My son is not here because he did not want to and could not have the heart to listen to this. but I appreciate all of you looking and being part of this. I know I'm the end of you in bed. And I think it's important, like, to think, for me, I'm living a life powerfully in what I love by keeping her spirit up and helping you change the way you live boldly and living a life one you love. And how will you do so today after today? Thank you.